Who dat to the Who Dat Nation? Welcome to the Who Dat Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. I am your fellow Who Dat and host, Kevin Reed, and we have arrived to week 8 of the NFL football season when the New Orleans Saints, who currently sit at a impressive record of 1-6, will play their first division game of the season against the division leaders, nonetheless, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who currently hold a record of 5-2 thus far in the season. This is this season, man. I like a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation, I had low expectations for this season. I wasn't looking for the Saints to challenge for the division this year. Really wasn't. I wasn't looking for the Saints to have a winning record, to be above 500 this season, to be 100% honest with you. But I was expecting a little more from this team, at least up to this point in the season. Things can turn around. They could turn around starting this Sunday against the Bucs. Who knows? But it's been a disappointment on so many levels for the New Orleans Saints so far this season. I would say every level. I really look at this team and I can't pinpoint one thing that is encouraging moving ahead in the future for this franchise. We have a new head coach in Kellen Moore. I'm not impressed with Kellen Moore. And, the honeymoon is pretty much over with me when it comes to Kellen Moore. The rookie head coach narrative. There are several rookie head coaches in the league right now. None of them look this bad. None of them, and these are teams that have less talent than the New Orleans Saints. And to be clear and honest, those coaches have less pedigree than Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is fresh off of a Super Bowl victory as the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, a lot of that is talent that he had there. I fully acknowledge that. I give him a curve for that aspect of it. We don't have a quarterback at the level of Jalen Hurts. We don't have a running back at the level of Saquon Barkley. We don't have receivers at the level of A.J. Brown. And our defense definitely doesn't mount up to the defense that the Philadelphia Eagles have, especially up front. And so it's not the same team, and I wasn't expecting the same results. But it's the most pedestrian-looking offense that I have seen from this team. And we went through the Moore years, man. We're talking about the Bobby Hebert years. It wasn't fun to watch those offenses touch the field, during the Hazlitt era. Well, not so much Hazlitt. Hazlitt was good, Dicker was a different story. But, now this offense looks disjointed. They look undisciplined. They just look out of place, man. They look like a bunch of high school kids trying to take on an NFL team every week. And it's embarrassing to watch, man. It's hard to watch this team in 2025. And that's saying a lot coming off of 2024. And I would argue that 2024 was better in some sense. At least they fought hard when Rizzi was the coach. They did play hard. And they play hard-ish this season. I've seen spurts, but not to the level where every game they're going out there and trying to give it their all. You remember a few years back, the Detroit Lions, when Dan Campbell first got there, it was a struggle for Dan Campbell as the head coach of the Lions. They weren't the Lions that we see now. And it was just week in and week out, they were losing. But they were not bad losses. And I know there's no moral victories in football. But it was something about the Lions that you can see, they're almost there. They are literally a player or two away. And once they got that player or two, look at them now. They lose their offensive and defensive coordinator last season. new systems and whatnot. And here they are once again chugging along. They got it together. They got it together. And this team here, bruh, my God. And on top of that, we go into this game or to the rest of this season, we lost even more players. And that brings up the question. What are they doing? What are they doing at the Saints facility? They tried this new practice method where they're supposed to preserve the players and keep them healthy throughout the season. It looks like more players are getting hurt and more, earlier in the season than they would prior years. And so that's not even working. I don't understand. Now, the injury bug is hitting every team. You look around the league, every team is losing players they're just hemorrhaging players at a rapid pace. And it's concerning league wise, but for the Saints, it seems like every year we get hit. And when we get hit with the injury bug, it hits, man. My God. But there's still no excuse because when we were fully healthy, we still stunk. So I can't expect much from them now. But you know what I'm saying? So it's hard. But the Saints are entering division play finally this season. And it only took 8 weeks, but here we are. And the Saints will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Host. It will take place in the Caesars Superdome this Sunday at 12 on Fox. And this is the first of 3 division games in the next 4 weeks. Or the 4 contests, however you want to put it, for the Saints. If you look ahead, they play Tampa this Sunday. They play Carolina on the 9th. And then they play Atlanta on the 23rd. So for the next month, 3 out of those 4 games will be division games. So this will be a big game for the Saints. As far as, and I'm not don't get me twisted. It's a big game, not for, oh man, we still got a chance to climb into this division hunt. I'm not saying that. This year's a wash. Let's just put that out there. This is a done deal for this season. But as far as building something, man, building something to make a stamp, to make a statement. This Sunday is the time to unleash the Kraken. And I'm not saying victory. I'm not saying go out there and just blow the doors off of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sink their ships. No, I'm saying make a statement. Just let them know that you're here. You're still here. You are the Saints for years prior where we owned this division. Let them know that we're coming back for it. May not be this year, but we're coming. Unfortunately, for the past 3 seasons, it's been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay has owned this division, and 2 out of these last 3 seasons, Tampa Bay has swept the New Orleans Saints. Most recently, last season, they swept us. And so we are hungry for a victory. It's been a while since we had a victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will it be this Sunday? I honestly no. If you're asking me, no. ESPN gives Tampa Bay a 65.5% chance of winning this game, and quite honestly, I think a lot of that plays into the fact that they're in New Orleans because it should be 75 or higher. Honestly, you look at this team looks lost. There's no energy. Look, last Sunday was so telling for this squad when everything just deflated out of this team. All the heart, you could literally watch their hearts leave their chests and dance off the field during that game last week. And it was depressing to watch. Soon as one mistake happens, if one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong for this team. Everybody is so lost if one thing is off. They don't know how to bounce back. They don't know how to persevere. They don't know how to press forward, shake off a turnover or a penalty or a big play or whatever it may be. They just cannot shake it. If one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. For example, you look on defense. Defense can finally make a stop. It can be a 3 and out, but on that third down, there's a stupid penalty that gives the opposing team an automatic first down. All of a sudden, now we can't stop a nosebleed on defense. Why? Because that penalty just took all the air out of them. On offense can be moving the ball up the field. All of a sudden, they get a run play and it goes for 1 yard or negative yardage, and the whole offensive game plan just goes poof. It's one thing that goes wrong. They could be moving the ball, then there's a illegal formation or a false start, kills the entire drive. I can't make this stuff up, man. It is so discouraging to watch this team. And if I'm like that, and I am a diehard black and gold who that through and through, and if I'm to the point where I want to change the channel, that's a problem. That is a serious problem for the Saints franchise, man, because if I feel that way, I'm pretty sure a vast majority of the Who Dat Nation feels the same way. And now what? You done lost your fan base. Nobody's excited. Nobody's going to come to the games, and it's a loss now. And all that stems from one person, in my humble opinion. The reason the Saints are where they are right now is because of one person. It's not Kellen Moore. It's not Spencer Rattler. It's not Alvin Kamara. It's not Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator. It's not none of that. It is Mickey Loomis, the GM of this team. He has put this team in a position to fail. Not so much this season, but this is a culmination of past seasons. Coming home to roost. Failing in free agency. Missing in the draft. Overpaying for aging players. Things of that nature has just demolished this team. And it's coming home to roost. It's just horrible decisions. You know, I'm not going to say coaching yet. As much as I'm frustrated with Kellen Moore, 6 weeks, well, what we at? 7, 8 weeks in, I'm not ready to throw him out. I think he can be a good coach, but currently he's not a good coach. But I need to see more from him, man. This dude needs to get it together. But you had other coaches. You had other opportunities. We can go all the way back. Sean Payton could still be the coach of the New Orleans Saints right now if it wasn't for Mickey Loomis. Look at what Sean's doing in Denver. Besides being petty and going back and forth, getting in a Twitter war with Russell Wilson, but he's doing his thing in I'm about to say Buffalo, in Denver. And so if it wasn't for Mickey Loomis, I believe in my heart of hearts that Sean Payton would still be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. But that's all coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's a fantasy world. This is what we have right now. Kellen Moore. This is what we have right now. Spencer Rattler. This is what we have right now. Chris Olave. You know, we don't have no other options. We just got to rock with what we got. Play with the cards we're dealt, as they say. And speaking on Spencer Rattler, he had a horrible game last week. Worst game as a professional in the NFL. There's no excuses for it. And that was horrible. This is a big game for him because can you bounce back from it? And all quarterbacks have had bad games. You go from Brady, Breeze, Peyton, the list goes on and on. They have all had bad games. But what made them great, what made them Hall of Famers, is their ability to bounce back, their ability to shake it off, their ability to have a short memory. And so let's see. Now, if Spencer Rattler come out here this Sunday and play close to what he played last week, I'm on the Shuck train. You know, it's time to move on. Because quite honestly, as much as I'm a fan of Spencer Rattler, and if you listen to the show, you know that I am. I feel if given the opportunity, he can be your starting quarterback. But he has to do his part. He hasn't pooed the bed, except from last week, but he's done his job to the best of his ability. Um, but you can't shake that 1 in 12, 13 record he has. You can't shake it. It's there. You can make an excuse for this. Receivers dropping balls. The offense is stagnant. This, that, the third. Your offensive line is complete garbage. But he still has to find a way to win. You're the quarterback. I'm sorry. And so it's a tall task this week. It sucks that he has to bounce back in a game like this against one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league, depending on who you ask. It's gonna be a tough task. Here are the league rankings thus far this season through 7 weeks of the season. Starting off with the record, as I said before, we all know the Saints are 1-6. Tampa is 5-2. Scoring average. This is the NFL ranking now. Saints scoring average is ranked 29th in the league. Tampa 13th. Opposing scoring average 27 for the Saints, 16 for the Bucs. Total offense. Saints are 24th in the league in total offense. Bucs are 14th. Total defense. Saints are 19th in the league. Bucs are 17th in the league. Turnover margin. Saints are 12th in the league with a +1. I know that's crazy, being as though we turned over the ball 30 times last week, but we are still a +1. But Tampa is just that much better with a +4. They are 7th in the league. Season leaders, starting with passing. New Orleans Saints, of course, is Spencer Rattler. 159 of 235 pass attempts. 1,450 yards passing. 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. 3 of them came last week. 3 out of those 4 was 1 week ago. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, it is Baker Mayfield who is cooking, man. He's up there in the early MVP discussions this season. 157 for 245 pass attempts, 1,767 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions so far. Saints leading rusher is Alvin Kamara. 94 carries for 342 yards and 1 touchdown. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rashid Wright is the leading rusher with 64 carries, 252 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Leading receiver for the New Orleans Saints is Chris Olave, 44 receptions for 440 yards and 3 touchdowns. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Emeka Ibaka, I believe that's how you say his name, 31 receptions, 527 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Leading tackler for both teams, Mario Davis, 61 tackles for the Saints, and for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Taki Smith with 58. Injury report for this week 8 matchup. Oh, man. We all know that Kendre Miller, once again, has been placed on IR. He is out for the remainder of the season. Prayers up to him. But, man, I'm so hurt by this, bro, because I thought he finally turned that corner. This was the year he was going to bounce back. Because it's so much potential with Kendre Miller. He is such a good running back, and he just can't stay healthy, man. And year in and year out, it's the same thing. Well, normally it's his hamstring, but this go around it was his ACL. Uh, yeah, man, prayers up to Kendre Miller, but he will be out for the remainder of the season, as well as our center Eric McCoy, the one, and I mean the one good thing that we had on that offensive line. He he's out for the season, unfortunately. So the hits keep on coming for the New Orleans Saints. We don't have, other than that, we don't have anybody who has been designated as out per se, but we do have some banged up players. Wide receiver Chris Olave, ankle injury he's been dealing with all week. He was limited all week in practice. Um, Chase Young, he was sick the first couple of days in practice, but he is a full participant later in the week. Jawan Johnson had a neck injury. I don't know what from, but I don't know what. Maybe that's why he can't catch. But he was limited early in the week, but he did participate fully on Friday. Alvin Kamara, yes, Alvin Kamara had an ankle injury. He's been dealing with that for a couple of weeks now. He was limited all week. But to go back to the IR list, just to run down these are the players who are on IR for the New Orleans Saints. I said Eric McCoy, Kendre Miller. You also have Trey Palmer, the wide receiver, our rookie defensive end, or defensive tackle, I should say, Vernon Broughton. He's on IR. Of course, you know about our big free agent pickup this offseason, Julian Blackman, Jalen Polk, wide receiver. Now, that's the player we traded for. Gave up a 6th-round pick who was on IR, and now he's on IR for the Saints as well. I just don't understand. Barry Wesley, offensive tackle, another offensive tackle, Landon Young, Mason Plying, tight end is on IR. Bud Means, Will Clapp, center, he's on IR. I mean, man, you almost have as many players on IR who suits up on Sunday. That just goes to show you the Saints really need to look into their training and conditioning. I don't know what it is, man, but it needs to be addressed rapidly, soon as possible. Now, with the injury to Kendre Miller, this is a huge, gigantic opportunity for our rookie running back, Devin Neal, to make an impact. He looked good in preseason. Now, it was preseason, but he looked good. But now is your time to shine. Unfortunately, it had to come from these means, and this is what it is. But now's the time to shine. He really does need to step up, especially with Alvin Kamara not being 100%. And you could tell, man, Alvin Kamara, especially last week, my God, Alvin Kamara probably had his worst game as a New Orleans Saint last week. It was horrible. It was bad. But as far as this week is concerned, the big matchup, the big takeaway, or the one thing to look at going into this game as a key to the victory or the loss for the New Orleans Saints will be our defense versus the Tampa Bay's offense. Swinging back to the injury report, I failed to mention for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chris Godwin, their star receiver, he is out for Sunday's game, as well as Mike Evans. Their other star receiver, he is out. Actually, he's been placed on IR with a broken collarbone. So you don't have those two threats, and I think Bucky Irvin as well will not play this Sunday versus the Saints. They also have Villa, their big defensive tackle. He is questionable with a foot injury. And Hassan Reddick, their linebacker, is out. So Tampa is limping into this game as well. They have some key pieces that are missing. But with that being said, Baker Mayfield is playing, so it's not going to be easy peasy. Their leading receiver, Emeka Emeka Gumbaka, he is questionable as well. You know, that wide receiver who I wanted in the draft, their rookie wide receiver, he is questionable. Probably go if he can run, he's probably gonna play. I don't, because they have nothing else receiver wise. Although the Bucs may not be at full strength against the Saints can ill afford to take this Tampa team lightly. There is talent all around this field, so don't be fooled by that injury list. Just last week, the Saints defense or their pass rush once again failed to answer the bell. You know, against the Bears, they managed to sack Caleb Williams just once during that game, once. And the pass coverage has been for New Orleans in the past recent weeks, just as worse than the pass rush. And so Brandon Staley's group has got to find a way to get their act together. They find a way to get to the quarterback and disrupt them. These are the games you got to win at home, playing against a rival. The first meeting of the season. It's time to set the tone. It's time to do it today, or Sunday, I should say, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I don't care about the records, and when you play a division game, records go out the window. It doesn't matter. It's about pride. It's about staking your or sticking your flag in the division, like we're here. And so, throw the records out the book. I need the Saints. This is why it's important to me. I need to know that they're taking this seriously. I need to know that they are truly here to disrupt some mess, to really be a problem for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Win or lose, give them everything you got. They are missing key pieces. Yeah, we're missing a lot of players, and you may say a key player here or there, but they are missing major pieces of their team this Sunday. Take advantage, man. Please, can we take advantage of that? Exploit their weaknesses if you can find it, and please. But I'm not 100% confident in this team. Oh man, we'll see, man. We'll see going in. I think the Saints will put up a fight this Sunday. Believe it or not, I think this will be a close game, a one possession game, like the majority of the games this season. And I honestly think the Saints will have a chance to win this game at the end. I just don't know. I guess my biggest question mark for the Saints is this offensive run game. With the absence of Kendre Miller and the addition of Devin Neal. Can Devin Neal carry the load? Because he's going to have to carry the load. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because they have shown that they're not going to put the load on Alvin Kamara, and Alvin Kamara has shown that he isn't prepared to take the load. So it's going to have to go to somebody else, and as it stands right now, it's the next man up, Devin Neal. So I am excited to see him. I want to see what I saw at Memphis in college. I want to see if we're going to get that player. So get your popcorn ready. I don't have a prediction. Like I said before, I don't know. I'm not predicting. I'm not betting on the Saints until they show me different. But I do feel confident that they'll put up a fight. I really do. Now, will that result in a victory? We'll have to wait and see. I would like to know, what do you think of this matchup? Do you think the Saints are washed? Do you think the Saints should just forget it and tank? And tank for what? What can you tank for that can help this team? There's nothing. Did you look around this senior class or this current or this future draft class for next season? It's not very strong. So there are no players that's going. One guy who's going to come in and change the franchise. No, he's not in this draft. You can kill that noise. But I want to know, what do you think? Or do you think the Saints will bounce back, go on a run? Anything's possible. Any given Sunday, they say. Will it be this one? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who That Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me as we previewed the Week 8 division matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't forget that I will be back after the game goes final this Sunday, and hopefully we can discuss a Saints victory. Until then, I'm going to be screaming, "Who dat?"